What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are finally continuing on with this turbo 1FZ-FE series build. Now I apologize for the length of time between these episodes. As a lot of you who have watched the channel regularly know, this build has actually been a catalyst for me changing how I actually release content. And it's really annoyed me the way this has gone and the long wait it has been to get a lot of these parts back to continue with this build. And it's frustrated me that so many people were very interested in this build when I put the first video out, and then it's been this long to get another video out because of how long we've been waiting for parts and stuff. So it's made me change the way I do content. Now what I'm going to do is sit on content until the project's nearing completion and start releasing so that it's not such a big gap for the viewers to see episodes. And I do apologize, but we're finally back into it now, and from here on it shouldn't be such big gaps between episodes. So anyway, I'm starting this as we've got everything back. I've got a little bit of footage to throw in after this of things that have happened in the meantime. But as you can see here, we've got our head back from one machine shop. So this is the 1FZ head. They actually had to straighten it a little bit because it's obviously been very hot. You can see what these marks are here. So they actually had to straighten the head out. They've given it a surface, and it's more or less ready to go. It's ready to be reassembled now. So that's one piece of the puzzle. We've got the head back. So the head wasn't such a big deal. The biggest delay in this project has been waiting for parts and the machine work on the bottom end, which is in here. We finally got that back this week. So step into the magic room here, and we've got our 1FZ block and our resident engine builder. Anyway, so Rex is going to be putting this together, or I'll do a few other things today. But we finally got our block back. It's been fully machined, fully prepped, ready for our new setup. We've got the stock crank that came out of it that's been linished and ready to go by the machine shop. And we've got here a new spool HB rods, ACL bearings, and our new CP pistons by Spool.
But don't hit them.
Yeah. So anyway, this was the biggest weight. So these are not a custom made piston.
They're made to order.
But they're made to order. So given that the 1FZ is not a super popular platform, obviously they don't just keep a whole heap of 1FZ pistons on the shelf. So they were a made to order item, which means we had to wait something like, it ended up being something like 6 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Just to get the pistons made and sent to us. So, you saw the first episode, we got this out, we pulled it down. It was then, once we figured out what the bore size was so we could order the pistons, it was then a 6 week wait for the pistons. Then when the pistons finally showed up, we sent it down to the machine shop that we send a lot of our bottom end stuff to, PLR Engines there at Brendale. And it was pretty much, they were like, oh, we might get to it this year. And that was the start of last November. So it pretty much sat there until early January when they finally got to it. And now we finally have it back. So that has been pretty much the massive delay of this project, which has been an absolute pain. But you can see here, we've got our Cometic head gasket. This thing already had AOP head bolts in it, or head studs, I should say. So it already had good studs. So we've got ourselves a new gasket kit there for everything else for it, and everything else is pretty much here to really start getting this thing back together. Anyway, regardless, we've got everything back now, and we're pretty excited to get in and smash this project out. We've been pretty excited about this build for a little while. Not only that, we know that the internet's very excited about this build and really wanting to see it. Righto guys, so we've got a crank in here. Rex has done all the crank stuff. I missed it with the GoPro. Obviously, as you can see, squirters go in first. I just forgot to set up the camera before Rex did that. So there you go. So, installing rod and piston number 1. Just to double triple check all of our block clearances around the skirt with these new spool H-beam rods. Ooh. 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 Ah. So. Have we got clearance?
Fucking heaps, mate. Clearance for days.
Alright, clearance for days. So.
I don't know what you were worried about, Max.
Anyway, we can go on smashing the rest of this thing together.
That's how we do, we smash it.
Smash! My apologies guys, I don't know what happened with the GoPro then, but it only picked up that second piston and rod install, and then it just stopped. The time-lapse just stopped, so sorry guys. Unfortunately we missed the time-lapse of the rest of the assembly, but as you can see, we've got ourselves one assembled short motor, short block I should say, all new Welsh plugs. So at this stage it's just about ready to be prepped for paint, which is this morning's mission, is to prep this for paint. The plan is Rex wants to paint pretty much the sump and the block. So, yeah, pretty much. Oh wait, no, you're gonna leave the sump, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, sorry guys, my mistake. Leaving the sump just nice and clean. So, prep this and just paint the block. And then it's just gonna be, you know, the raw alloy head, sump, front timing cover and stuff. Should all look pretty nice. It's all cleaned up pretty well, so. Got the, where's the cover?
What's that, the timing cover?
Front cover.
Oh,
There it is. So, should look bloody nice, real nice. So Rex was fairly generous with the rings, knowing what we know about the issues with these 1FZs. So ring gap, you know, obviously for boost as well. Rex reckons he had another look at the turbo as well, and we had originally ran the numbers and thought it was like a really old school sort of GT32.
yeah, so it was like a mid-size
thing, but Rex has run the numbers again, had another look and actually measured up a little bit. He reckons it's probably pretty much closer to a 35, so we'll just see how this thing goes when we get it happening, see what we can do with it. But we've got our new injectors which have arrived as well, so we've got some fresh injectors there because the 440s that were in it just weren't going to cut it really. They were really on the limit for what the last setup would have been anyway. So some fresh injectors, some nice shiny new bits. They're looking good. All right, guys, and she's black. Looking beautiful. So for a lot of people that wonder, we paint our engines with equipment enamel. It's tough as nails. It sets hard as. It takes ages to go off this stuff. We did buy the quick dry stuff, but it doesn't seem to matter how much you want to buy quick dry equipment enamel. It always just takes ages to go hard, but it's awesome for engines because it's really heat resistant. It's tough as. What more could you ask for? You can see that the J's painted with the same stuff. So anyway, sorry I missed the action with that. I was busy cleaning up outside while Rex was doing that, but anyway, it's painted, so at this point, probably let it go hard for a little bit longer because it takes ages, but we'll get into continuing on with the assembly of this thing because we want to try and get it in the car this week. That'll be a nice little goal. So. It's nice to be making some freaking progress on this thing considering how long we've had to wait for everything. So it's sick to see it come together. It looks awesome. So yeah, while Rex was doing that, I just cleaned up this whole area. Sort of nice. You can actually get it everything now. You can actually get it all the pallets of stuff individually and drag them out if I need to, rather than having them all piled up in front of each other. So you had to move everything to get it one. So that took me most of the morning cleaning up all this stuff, but glad to have done it now. But anyway, so I was doing that while Rex painted the block. So let's get into assembling some more of it. CC in the head. Make sure we can double check compression. Tip tip tipperoo. So we had them surface this head, but they also had to straighten the head because the motor had been so hot at one point that the head was actually just a little bit warped. So they straightened it and then decked it. So we don't know how much they actually took off. So that's why it's always important to CC the head so that we know exactly what sort of compression ratio we're working with as far as actual static compression. Anyway, aside from that, you can see we are getting on. Looking good. Alright guys, this thing is coming along schmick. Look at it. That's such a big motor. But anyway, it's coming along very nice. We are definitely on track, which is great. So I think Rex is pretty much up to this point putting the cams in. Once the cams are in, we can time it. And once it's timed, front cover and stuff can go on. Once the front cover's on, the sump can go on, and you know how the rest goes. It can keep on going together. Looking great, bud. Looking real good. Alright, so Rex here this morning cleaning up these cams. Just a bit of a linish. So I don't know if I spoke to you guys about it way back when we first started this build back in the first episode, but this cruiser came to us and the head had already been pulled off. It was already mostly pulled apart. It was pretty much just the block in there and the engine bay with a few ancillaries still attached. So like the cams have been pulled out and just left in the back of the car for we don't even know how long. So there are just a few little marks that need a bit of cleaning up. There's been a fair bit of stuff that's needed a bit of cleaning up. It's just that we try not to film too much of the cleaning up process because it's just about as fun to watch as it is to do. So it pretty much sucks. But anyway, doing a quick linish. It's linishing up really nice.
Yeah, so well, that's sort of what they look like before.
Yeah, so
and
that's before.
That's what they look like after they come up.
So
pretty good.
Bit of a clean up for just things that have been sitting around is a must do.
We're lucky it's only just a bit of surface rust on the hardening, so it's you can get away with just giving it a quick polish and it'll be all good.
But anyway, once the cams are cleaned up, they can go in. We ordered a nice big new radiator from PWR this morning. It's going to be a bit of a wait for that, so we're going to have to probably get it running with the radiator that's currently in the cruiser, but regardless, it's on the way. We really want to make sure this thing stays cool this time around, so nice new big PWR radiator for it.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Alright guys, sorry about all the time lapse, but with me having to work on other stuff while Rex is putting this together, it's really the only effective way I could find to actually capture what's sort of going on. But anyway, you get the idea. She is coming along brilliantly, looking great. We have had a few issues along the way, it hasn't all been smooth sailing. I'll go through them in a minute, but you can see it's all looking pretty nice. So it's weird, this little split gear here on the exhaust cam is actually like, it's spring loaded. And obviously the idea of it is to try and keep engagement on the teeth all the time so that there's no slack in the two cams. So, go Rex's way here. So you actually have to pull it around and there's that little line-up hole there to line it up to lock it off to get it in there, almost like a preloaded tensioner sort of thing. It's pretty funny, weird little design, but little things you pick up on these motors like that. Again, this is the first 1FZ we'd ever actually pulled down, and as I said, it came to us with the cams and everything already out of it. So at this point, we've never pulled one down from where we are trying to put one together, which always makes things a little bit sort of hard because you got to sort of piece everything together and figure it out as you go. But no, it's looking really nice, really good. One of the biggest issues we actually had was this. We got this Nason timing set, and this is the new sort of, I don't know what you call that, a guide or a tensioner guide, which actually goes on the tensioner side. It's hard to show you now because the actual timing cover's on it. But so this goes on the tensioner side here, has a rubber or a plastic wear pad on the front of it and bolts to the front, and the actual tensioner, which goes on the outside here, actually pushes on that, and that's your tensioner for your chain. You can see down there where it actually is. So this came in the new set, came with everything except for gears, so all of these new tensioners and stuff like that. And this is just ridiculously out of shape. It's all bent and twisted and wrong. When you put it in, it was contacting the front of the head here. It was actually holding on the front of the head, and it was not actually sitting in the center of the chain at all. Like, it was just all sorts of wrong. So what we've actually ended up doing is putting the new pad, like the new actual wear pad on the old tension. I don't know, again, what you call it, I don't know what you call it specifically, but we put the new pad on the old genuine Toyota part, which obviously fits much nicer. So still the new pad in there, and we've got the new tensioner there, but yeah, this was just crap from Nason, so absolute trash. So we didn't use that. That was the biggest sort of thing we've encountered, but apart from that, it's been alright. So. Anyway, we do like how much variety we get to do here at the shop. You know, we generally do a lot of LS stuff, and you know, RB and JZ stuff are fairly common as well. We've got lots of J's happening at the moment, but meanwhile, Rex has been putting this forged 1FZ-FE together, ready to be turboed in a 4-wheel drive, while I've been pulling apart outside a little 4-age that we're going to be building a fully bombed forged 4-age for a little front-wheel drive car. So it's pretty cool when you look at it, how that goes about, how much variety and stuff we get to see, and all the different engines we get to work on. So you know, it is fun. As much as it's oddball, and there is a lot of time that we can't charge it for, and sort of working a few things out and taking our time, making sure everything's perfect, because it's not something we do every day. These oddball engines, it's still enjoyable. You know, it mixes things up. It makes it fun to come to work every day. You're not doing the same thing every day, so it is pretty cool. And we are excited to see results out of all of them. Funnily enough, we're actually sort of aiming for the same horsepower figures out of this and the 4-age that I've been pulling apart outside. So funny when you look at that. We're looking for the same sort of horsepower figures, but the 4-age is probably about a quarter of the size.
Yeah, very different. It'll be very different 400 horsepower.
Oh yeah, very different. We're talking about like 400 horsepower at 8,000 RPM and 400 horsepower at
like 4.5.
Yeah, way lower RPM.
Yeah, this thing will be a stump puller.
It goes up that way. So that's going to be pretty much it for another day. I've got to go do a machine shop run to Brisbane tomorrow, so pretty much at this point, nothing will be filmed tomorrow, but Rex will just pretty much finish fitting off the motor, and then we'll take another look when it's all finished for the end of the episode. But just sitting here looking at it, I was like, it really looks like it's timed wrong because of the cams, but because they're geared, like they're actually the way the gears are, I think it's the Z in the naming convention. It means that they're narrow angle, like close valve, close cam, and they got the single gear and then these driven teeth.
Yeah,
pretty sure that's
right.
I'm pretty sure it's the Z in the naming convention denotes that it's that sort of motor. But yeah, it's weird because, you know, looking at a J or an RB, both cams spin the same way because they're both driven by the belt. And you look at this and it just, the way the lobes are, it just looks way wrong. But you got to remember it's only driven by one cam, so the cams actually spin opposite ways, which makes it look really, really funny when you're looking at it when it's not moving. Because it makes it look like the intake valve is going to open and then the exhaust valve is going to open straight after. But no, that's not the case. What is the case is you're an idiot. Anyway, funny motor. Rex checked all of the clearances to the shims, and they were just a little bit tight on the exhaust side, and really good on the intake side, but they should be perfect.
They were sort of both on the tight side, but still within spec. So
yeah. All right, guys, beautiful morning here. Really nice day. Anyway, so as I was talking about, we got that 1FZ mostly in pieces, and there has been a few things along the way trying to put it back together, which we are obviously missing. We've been looking through, diving through the Cruiser trying to find them. We have not been able to find these pieces we've been looking for, so we just decided to get another one. So anyway, one of the guys that works at a local part shop out here that we get a lot of our parts through, he had a 80 series or a 100 series, I'm not sure what it was, either way. He had a 1FZ sitting there that he didn't really need, so we ended up just getting a whole new engine. So this is pretty much a parts engine now. So there's a lot of these little, like this little tube here that goes to the head. That one there, which is the water bypass for the thermostat and stuff. Like things like that we have not been able to find. We don't know where they are. So things like that, it was just easier to get another motor. And now we've got a whole spare engine for spare parts, spare bolts, that sort of thing. So it just makes it easier. So anyway, now we can actually finally continue on the assembly process. Got a lot of cleaning up to do with that stuff on that motor, but at least it's there. That's the idea. All right, so we've cleaned up the parts motor and flogged a few things off it that we know we're going to need. So this will be very handy to have this thing. It could be awesome. Alright, boys and girls, so we've very well got ourselves pretty much a 1FZ together. She's just about there. Rex is just finalising up a few things now. But yeah, interesting motor, interesting build, it's been good. But yeah, just about time to get it in the flapping car, which would be nice. Won't it? So anyway, we have been on to our supplier for that Nason, what do you call it? The timing set, the timing guide, plate thing. I don't know. It's been a long day. I'm lost for words at the moment. But Nason are very concerned about it. They want us to send it back so that they can, you know, see it. It's been a really good experience as far as they really want it back to make sure that that doesn't happen again to these kids. So they've been really good to deal with. So that's really good. So we're happy enough with the stock one that went back in this thing with the new pad on it. That's fine for us. What we want to do, that's sweet. And it's really good that they're actually showing so much interest in actually getting that back and really wanting to sort out that issue. So that's really good. But anyway, yeah, hell yeah, brother.
I was debating whether to put this in dry and just anti-seize the nuts to try and encourage the nuts to come undone if someone has to undo it and leave the studs there. but then you run the risk of, you know, if something happens to the nuts and they seize up,
Or if you snap a stud.
yeah. So I'd rather anti-seize this and the nut, and then I don't
At
care.
least they come out.
Yeah, whatever comes out, comes out. Like if the stud comes out, it's not a problem. You just put it back in.
Also, I've sort of missed these last few little things of being buttoned up on this engine getting finalised, but that second motor that we bought, that second engine, has been a massive, massive help. It's been mad handy to have that, so very glad we got that. That has been a huge help to get this thing to where it is, considering, again, like I said, we didn't pull it down, not all of it, so that's been a mad help, that thing, so thank God for that. Anyway guys, I think that is well and truly enough content for one episode. I have a feeling this episode's going to be incredibly long, so apologies for that, but so many people were waiting for so long to see this thing, so sorry it was such a big wait. Again, like I said in this video, it was mostly out of our control, the reasons behind having to wait for this. We have not wasted any time since we've had it back, we've just been smashing this out, so we're going to continue on this train and get this thing into the car and smash it out and get it back to the owner ASAP. We really want this thing sort of completed. We really want to see results, and we really want to get back to him because he's been waiting for a long time. So thanks for watching. As always, don't forget to smash like. It you know, helps YouTube know that we're pretty good guys and other people should watch the video. So hit that like button, smash subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out. See you, bye.